I think that this Israeli war for the Greater Israel Project is the catalyst for the collapse of American power around the world because we have unconditionally supported it. We're on a road to an economic crisis, a financial catastrophe, something that we really haven't experienced since the 1930s. That's how bad it's going to be. Until it gets that bad, people are not going to stand up. They're not going to go into the streets. They're not going to make their views felt and understood in Washington. And right now, both the Senate, the House, and the White House, all of these three institutions are firmly in the grip of the lobby. So when this collapse comes, and I think it's coming sometime this year, it's going to be god-awful hell to pay for the Israelis, and it's going to be the end of this administration, and probably the end for most of the people on the Hill. I think that's how serious it's going to get. It's hard for people to imagine because what we're really seeing happen right now is a movement from abundance, which we've had now for decades, an abundance of oil, an abundance of cash, an abundance of everything, to scarcity. We're suddenly not going to enjoy the living standard that we've enjoyed for so long. We're going to look a lot like Great Britain after World War II, hopelessly debt-ridden, and busy extracting our forces from everywhere in the world to try and cut expenses and get back on our feet. And we all know, historically, Great Britain never got back on its feet. It was finished after World War II. I hope it's not going to be that bad, but the way I see it right now, if things happen as I anticipate, we're going to have a larger war. Let's assume you just stick with the blockade initially. How long before others show up to force your blockade to end? Are we going to try and extend this blockade to becoming a global event? That's already been uttered by the Secretary of War. He said we're going to have a global blockade. You've got General Kane, who's talked about boarding ships and blockading ships that are coming out of the Persian Gulf and headed somewhere inside the Strait of Malacca. I mean, talk about stupidity on stilts, taking something that should already be over, it should have ended, and now turning it into a global phenomenon that's going to lead to a global war of some kind. And I just don't see anything good happening for us, and I don't see the American people profiting in any way. And I don't blame the American people for their complacency. Americans are human beings. If they're not hurt immediately, if they don't feel immediate pain, their tendency is, well, let's see how this turns out. This is not going to turn out well. It's going to turn out very badly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think so many people going about their lives, they're not intentionally burying their heads in the sand, but until they notice it on the grocery store shelves or they see it at the gas tank in a much larger capacity, the inflation going up and housing prices coming down and mortgage rates going back up and all of these things that are tied to this, lack of food on the table, et cetera, that's when there's going to be an awakening. And I hope that people wake up ahead of that. But I don't anticipate. Just a few minutes ago, Natalie just shared this with me. This is disgusting, but this is Benjamin Netanyahu just posting this on social media about Lebanon just a few minutes ago. Says Lebanon continuing and just sharing bombs just hitting infrastructure all throughout Lebanon.